You guys like games? I like games too, but I really don't enjoy the game that eBay's playing with us right now, and it's called the suggested promoted listing rate. And I'm gonna tell you what I'm talking about. So without any further ado, let's go. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is John from Flippin' Ain't Easy. And in this video, I'm going to show you what I discovered. I initially, last month, or at the end of July, I went in and decided, you know what'll happen if I just select the suggested promoted listing rates for my items. And what I decided to do was go a little bit further, because if everyone just hits the suggested promoted rate, then you'll all be sort of lumped in together. So I did suggested promoted listing rate for each item. You can do that in your bulk editor. And I did that plus 0.1%. So if everyone and their mother was doing the suggested rate, I would be 0.1% higher, and therefore I should be just a tad better in search. And that's, of course, your promoted rate doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be ranked the highest in search. There's other factors involved, like your price, your photos, your title, various things. It's all part of the algorithm that eBay uses to rank you in listings. Let's say there's 100 items that are exactly the same that are being sold on eBay. Let's say it's thousands of items, like maybe, let's just say an Apple iPhone. How does eBay decide if you're on page 1 or page 3 or 4 of the listings for the very same item? And yes, your promoted listing rate does have an effect on that, but there are other factors involved that are in play that people are still trying to figure out. That's why it's so secretive. Of course, eBay doesn't want us to know what all that is and pertains to. So we're here as sellers trying to do everything we can to work within the algorithm to increase our items' visibility to a potential customer. And we're just kind of grasping at straws. We have a general idea, good photos, good titles, a good price, good activity, if you've been active in your account. These are all factors that play in, but now they add in the promoted listing rate. And a lot of you, I was doing just 1%. And I think that it is always in your best interest to promote most items. Now, if you have no competition, let's say you have a one-of-a-kind item, there really is no need to promote your item, because if that customer pulls that item up in search, there are no other items that are going to come up that you have to compete against. But if, let's go back to the Apple iPhone there again. If you go on and list that iPhone and you don't put a promoted rate, you're going to get buried somewhere. And, that customer, most customers won't go beyond page 1, and a lot of customers won't go beyond page 2 and 3. And they're either buying or they're just giving up. And if you're buried beyond that, good luck. So eBay has changed the game over the last couple years with promoted listings. And it is, in my opinion, that if you don't have most items promoted, I know it's more, I know we don't want to pay really any more fees, but we don't want to be sitting on our merchandise as well. You need to be promoting those listings. Now, I noticed an increase when I went in and did the suggested promoted listing rates. I noticed an increase in sales. I actually had a really good month of August as a result. And I wanted to figure out, though, sort of how the suggested promoted listing rates work. And in doing so, I selected an item, and it was at 3.1% is what eBay had selected it. That was the suggested plus 0.1. And so I went in and I noticed that eBay was saying that it was 3.1, but it wanted 4.3% as a suggested. And I'm like, okay, wait. I just set this the other day, and it was literally a couple days ago prior to this. I had just set this for suggested promoted listing plus 0.1, and now it's like a full, like 1% higher. And so I'm like, okay, fine. I went in and set it. And this time, I just didn't even bother with adding 0.1%. I just set it at the suggested rate. And so I hit save to update the listing, and it dawned on me, oh, gee, I forgot to do something to the listing. I had changed the location of the item on the shelf, and it had a different shelf number. So I went back in and changed the custom SKU, but just for giggles, I scrolled down. As I was scrolling down to hit save, I looked over, and it was now asking me for 9.1% as the suggested rate instead of, I think, 4.3. And I'm like, wait, okay, hold on. I know that, and by definition, and I'll read it to you here. By definition, eBay's own definition under promoted listing fees, suggested ad rates are calculated based on a variety of factors such as item attributes, seasonality, past performance, and current competition for each of your listings, okay? And it doesn't say anything else. That's it. So why is it within seconds I've had 3 different suggested ad rate amounts for the same item? 3.1, 4.3, 9.1. I wasn't going to go to 9.1, and it just dawned on me, is this just like a random number, or is eBay constantly just pushing the bar up, up, up? Of course, it's in their best interest to get you to pay more for your final value fees, because again, eBay is very interested in earning fees, not on additional sales by you, but on additional fees off of the sales that you currently make. eBay's thought is that someone's logging in on eBay to buy that item, and it may as well be the one that has the highest final value fees for eBay to recoup. This is not a seller-friendly site. Of course, it's not Amazon, but at the same time, it's not a seller-friendly site by any means, and money hungry. Many of you guys have called this Feebay, and it is not far at all from the truth. So I call it a shell game. And when I try to get an answer from somebody, check in with a lot of experienced moderators on different forums that I visit to try to help people on, and finally I post something, nobody has an answer. Call eBay, of course, that's a waste of time, but just for giggles, nobody has an answer. eBay for Business didn't get back to me at all. Maybe they have me on mute, maybe they are ignoring me, I don't know, but I don't have an answer. If anybody out there has an answer, please comment down below and try to explain to me exactly how suggested promoted listing rates work. I'd like to know how they're calculated, because nobody at eBay seems to know, and it's just more of a mystery to me than, let's say, the algorithm is. And there should be, I'm not saying that there should be a set rate per category. Like if I'm listing a jacket, it should be a reported 4.5%, because again, per eBay's own policy, there's a lot of factors that go into it. But within a matter of 3 or 4 minutes, I shouldn't see 3 different rates. I have a campaign that I set. It's a campaign plus 0.1 that I was telling you about. I shouldn't set that campaign, then go in and, I have to edit something on this listing and see, well, wait, why didn't it set it at 4.8% or 4.3%? And now I'm going back in and I'm adjusting it, and then I enter, and then I go back into the listing, no more than a few minutes later, and it's showing me 9.1%. I'm not falling for the shell game, and I don't think you guys should either. How you decide to use your promoted listings is certainly up to you, but I would certainly recommend that you go in, set what you're comfortable with, okay? I would do at least 1% to get you on the map. See how 1% does. If 1% isn't really yielding you a whole lot of traction, see what kind of room you have. This is where sourcing comes in, and the lower you can actually get your cost of goods, the more room you're going to have to work with. I know we don't want to give eBay all that extra money, but it's a trade-off. Yeah, you're going to give eBay some extra money, but that item's going to sell more often than not than if you don't promote it. And I've tried listings without a promoted listing. You get sales, but it's nowhere near what you get when you promote. And eBay will reward you for playing their game. And this is their shell game. I'm not playing the shell game. I'm going to find a rate that works for me. Instead of doing the suggested, I may go in and do a set rate that's over 1% to see how I fare. It could be a 5% rate, something like that. And just to see if I notice a difference. Hey, I'm happy with the sales that I generated in August. And certainly if, it leads to some lower prices on some items, but I get to move it, I get to move on from it, and I get those sales. So I suggest you guys do your homework. Don't get stagnant on your account, meaning that, this set it and forget it idea is not productive or as productive as it would be if you go in there and just try something new all the time. Because it's the definition of insanity to keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Now, if you're doing great on eBay, don't change anything. Keep doing what you're doing. But if you're looking for improvements, I'm always looking for improvements, and you've put in your effort to, list, you're busting your butt, busting your tail like I've been, I'm going to spend a little extra time trying some new things, and I suggest that you do the same. So again, comment, let me know what you think. Wanted to share with you something pretty funny. I actually had a chargeback from eBay for $6.45. I want to see if anyone has a chargeback any lower than that one. And it turned out that it was an item that I sold. I think it was some ink, and it was new ink. And the customer claims that, it didn't fit their printer. So they opened a return as did not fit. Now I charged like $30 for the ink, $6.99 shipping. They returned everything back. Everything was fine. But when you buy an item and you select doesn't fit, well, that's not on me. I don't know what printer that you're using for this ink. So I gave them their $30 back. The option for refunding the outbound shipping, I did not select that because that money was used to pay for the shipping label. So what happens is I went in and hit submit. I relisted the item because it was in the same condition. And of course, what eBay does is they will then keep that return case open, and they'll say waiting to hear back from the buyer before processing the return or closing the case in this case. And apparently the customer was expecting a complete refund, and so they opened up a chargeback with their credit card company for the outbound shipping. Now, in principle, I guess I could fight it, and I probably would win. Definitely can take a screenshot of whatever. I have no problem fighting a case, but this is a situation where you want to pick and choose your battles. And this is one of those battles, one of those times where, to me, it wasn't worth $6.45, especially if you get the case in the hands of one of those rubber stamp specialists that just love to find the case in favor of the buyer. Well, if I do that, it's going to be more than $6.45. And by the way, that $6.45, it's after their fees and all that. It's really $6.99, but $6.45 is what I would owe eBay if the case was, if I decide to give them the refund. But if eBay, let's say we did the chargeback and eBay found the case in the buyer's favor, I'd have to fork out $6.45 plus a $20 fee to eBay for losing the case. And honestly, I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in gambling there. I like to gamble. I'm in Vegas. That's what we do. But I don't like my chances. And, losing an extra 20 over $6, no. If it was $64.50, it'd be a different story. But this is one case where you want to pick and choose your battles. It's just one of those things. It's the cost of doing business. I just refunded it, $6.45. I even wanted to say something to the buyer, but again, it's not worth my time. Move on. Forget it. Hope they enjoy their $6.45. I'm going to move on, and I suggest that if you guys get similar circumstance where they're trying to dispute any amount, make sure the amount is worth your time and the gamble of the extra $20, because I'll fight for $100 all the time, and I'll risk that $20 fee if I have to fight and defend that $100 chargeback or whatever it is, but not $6. What do you guys think? Comment down below. Do me a favor, like I always ask you guys, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and of course, hit that notification bell so that you're notified when I make another video or go live, which I should do at some point, just not quite sure. I ask you guys these things not because it's just obligatory to the channel. I really, really, really hope that you guys can utilize some of this information that I give you, 2 to 3 times a week. And if you appreciate that content, simply leaving a comment down below or liking the video, whether you subscribe or not, doing one of those two things, commenting or liking, heck, even hit the down like button if you want. There's haters out there that are doing that anyway. It helps the channel. It helps others see that this is good content. And if you feel like, my time is well spent and you've learned something from it or you enjoyed the content, then please interact with this video and please do one of those things. It would really mean a whole lot to me. So guys, whether you want to play the shell game or not, that's up to you. But just know that flipping ain't easy. And I want you guys to have a great start of your week, and we will talk to you guys very soon.